Hey, how you doing? A little while ago, I made a video showing how to create an area tag for a filled region, a detail element. Uh, it was kind of a cool trick, but somebody pointed out today on a comment on the video, yeah, but what about scheduling? You can't schedule it. And they're right, you can't. Or can you? All right, here's our scenario, okay? So it's a floor plan in 2D. So kind of stuff we shouldn't really do, but sometimes you do it for whatever reason. So it's a floor plan in 2D, and I've used filled regions for the areas, okay? Uh, Instead of rooms, okay? So, but then I use that other trick for creating a filled region area tag. And we have a bunch of these filled regions where they're completed with a mark for the room number, comments for the room name, and then the area. We want to schedule these filled regions as if they're rooms, okay? Reporting the room number, which is the mark, the room name, which in this case is the comments, and then the area, which doesn't exist within detail items. So you can't schedule the area. So what we're going to do, first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new parameter called something detail area, okay? So we go to our manage tab, shared parameters. If you haven't got a shared parameters file, then you're going to have to go to another video to watch how to do that first. Just cancel that. I'm going to go to my group. You don't have to have a particular group, but it works better for filing and finding stuff. I have a detailed items group. So I'm going to create a new parameter and call it, what do I say, detail area. I'm going to change the type of parameter from length to area, okay? And okay, and okay. Then I'm going to go to project parameters, add, go down to detail item. Where are you gone? Detail items, shared, select, go to my detail items, detail area, okay, and okay, and okay, cancel, okay. So now if you select one of these filled regions, say that guy there, you'll see we have a detail area parameter, but it's empty, okay? So we're going to need to fill it. Now, you could go manually into a schedule and fill it one by one. That doesn't make any sense to do that, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to do what I haven't done in the video yet to this point is we're going to enter the world of Dynamo. Right, let's go and find Dynamo so I'll get into it. So in the Manage tab, we'll find Dynamo here at the end. If you don't have it there, that's a whole other problem. You're going to have to go and install it, and that's, sorry, but you're going to have to go and do that. I'm going to assume you have it, okay? So we click on Dynamo, not Dynamo Player. Dynamo Player is like a little shortcut for executing commands, which is very useful. But for now, it's just Dynamo, okay? You would click on New to start a new graph, or Open if you have one saved, obviously. I'm just going to go to this, I've already got it made, okay? And I'm going to open it up. I'm going to assume this is maybe your first time making a Dynamo script. And to be honest, quite frankly, I actually have, this is the first time I've done it in a while. It's one of those things that kind of project by project, you kind of either get immersed in it for weeks or months, making all sorts of automations, or I don't touch it for a year, you know? And it's been one of those haven't touched it for a year sort of things. So anyway, here we are. So we'll make this kind of simple. I'll show you how to make this graph without getting into too much detail. And right, first thing we'll do is make sure we're not running live while we're making the script, okay? So if you check down the bottom of your screen, I have this set to manual, okay? It may be set to automatic by default, and if it's on automatic, it'll run as you make changes to your script or as changes happen in the model, okay? So we want to disconnect them so that we can manually run when we want to. So just select manual. Just a quick reminder what we're actually trying to do, okay? So we're trying to find our detail items, and more specifically, we're trying to get filled regions, okay? So we're searching by detail items, but that's everything. That could be, you know, your wall ties or something, whatever's in the model, okay, and your sheets or your drafting views or whatever. So we want to find detail items as a category, but then we want to only get from that list. We only want our filled regions, okay. You may have some filled regions then that this doesn't apply to, and then we could filter them out here, but I think that'd be just as handy to filter them out in a schedule back in Revit, okay. So we're looking for our detail items. We're looking for the filled regions within the detail items, and then we're looking for the parameter area, which doesn't really exist but sort of exists in the detail, in the field regions. And then we're going to get the value of the area, so the value of that parameter. And then we're going to search for the other parameter we just created called detail area. So we're going to get the value of area and fire it into the receptacle of detail area. That's what we're going to do. Now, pretty simple, right? Okay, so I'll just have a quick march through this graph, and then we'll go ahead and replicate it, okay? Okay, what we got on our screen now is a series of nodes. Each one of these things is a node, okay? And they're all out-of-the-box nodes, as in they're not custom nodes, and they're not. You can load packages of nodes, and you should. But these, I think, I'm pretty sure these are all Dynamo's own out-of-the-box nodes, okay? So you connect these nodes in a sequence and input information as required to get an output or an input at the end to do whatever it is you want to do, okay? Now, we find these nodes in our library, okay, of nodes. There's different packages here. You see these other guys down here. These are different packages that I've loaded in at some point or another. Don't want to get into that today, though, okay? So if you know where it is, you can go directly to it and find it and drop down lists and all that stuff, but it's just as easy to search, okay? So one by one, I'll show you how to search for these nodes, and I'll describe what they are, sort of, okay? Okay, the first thing we're going to look at is the categories. So I'll zoom in there. So the categories node is where we find detail items. You can pick windows or whatever, but detail items. So in your search box over here in library, just type in categories, or you can start to type it. There it is there, categories. Okay, pull that down and select the drop-down menu and go to detail items. Just type in D. There it is, detail items. Perfect. Next one is we need to tell it to find all elements of that category. Okay, so type in, as the node appears, all space elements of cat. Should do it. There we are. Where did that go? There it is. And then you connect one node to the other using, you just click onto the output category. You get this snaky line thing, and then click into the next node. That's it. So where they are on the screen doesn't make a difference. You can move it around just to make it graphically better for you to follow or whatever. Right, I want to make a list of the results I just generated. So into the search box, type in list create. There it is. Bring it down here so we can see it nice and clear. And again, join elements to items, and now we have them in sequence, okay? So what I've just done is found all detail items in the model, or in the project, rather, and then told it to get all the elements of that category and then put them into a list, okay? So we have every detail item in your project is now found, okay? So now what we need to do is we need to filter it out so that we only have our filled regions, okay? So we don't want everything else, we only want the filled regions. And we're going to do that with these nodes here, generating a Boolean mask, so a true-false sort of situation. And we find the filled regions and filter out everything else. Right, so list by Boolean mask. Let's search for that. List dot filter by Boolean mask. There it is there. Click it. So just pull that down here, separate it from the other guys. We need to filter our category list. So string contains, string dot contains, okay. String from object. String from object, perfect. Over there. And then just a string. So a string node is just one for entering a piece of text. Okay, and pull that over here. So, okay, I'll try and explain this briefly. String from object. The reason we're using that node is we're taking this list. Okay, so we put the list into object. So where our objects are the detail elements. Okay, that we just pulled out of the project. We need to convert that into text, basically into a string, in order to use this next node, which is in here. So string into string contains. We want to filter by filled region. So that's filled with a capital F, no space, region with a capital R in our string node. Okay, so attach that to search for. Okay, so we're searching for filled region within this list of detail items. Okay. All right. Then there's our Boolean mask. So we take our Boolean out of the string contains and put it into mask. So that again, that's our filter, right? And then the list comes from over here, from this create, okay? So we're going to take it from that, then bypass everything else into list, all right? Right, so we've filtered our list of detail items, okay, to field regions on one side and everything else on the other, okay? And that's what we have here, in and out. So instinctively, you might think the output then should be out, and that will give us the list we want, but actually the output we want is in. It's just the way it's labeled. So it's basically, we put it in the input field region as in filter by this, so that's what we want to get out, okay? So I'll come take my node from in, okay? So next thing we need to do then is get the parameter for area, okay? So close that. So it's element get parameter value by name, element dot get parameter value by name, okay? And we need a string to call it area. Okay, oops, string. Okay, and okay, just type into that area. So we're trying to find that area that's reporting in the field regions and input that into parameter name. Okay, so area is the parameter name. Okay, and then again, the output from the mask is actually in. Otherwise, if we use the out node, it would take everything except field region. So we're going to take the in and put that into element. Okay. Now what we've got is we've got the list of detail items, okay, field region, filtered out of it. And now from that list of filled regions, we found the area parameter. So now we've got a list of area parameter values for the filled regions, okay? So what we want now is we want to set the detail area parameter with the value from the area parameter. Make sense? Okay. So we need this node here, element set parameter value by name. Okay, so clear that. Type in element dot set parameter by name. Okay, brilliant. So we'll take our element from the Boolean mask in. Okay, so that's the list of field regions. Okay, and then we'll take our parameter name. We're going to need a string. So string, we'll type into that parameter name, which is detail area. Okay, so that's the one that the parameter we're trying to fill. Okay, so put that into parameter name and get parameter value by name. We put that variable into value. Make sense? Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just delete the original graph, and then we'll run it, and of course it'll work and everything will be fine. It'll be wonderful. All right, let's see. Right, I'll title this so we can see it happen. Okay, so there's a field region still selected. Okay, and we have our area 88.146. So all going well. When I execute this by clicking run, our detail area will be populated with that value of 88.146. And so will all the other detailed, the field regions. They'll be populated by their corresponding area parameter. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, run. There it is. Fantastic. But we do have a problem, because if we're running this manually, let's just select this field region over here. Okay, so there's our area, 111.394, matching the area parameter up here. But if I just drag that, let's say, and make that region smaller, the area has changed, right? It's now 70.968, but my detail area has not. Okay, now how do we approach this? Well, you can either run the script whenever you're ready to issue drawings or issue whatever, or while you're working. If it doesn't slow your processing down too much, you could switch from manual to automatic. Now you see that updated. Now watch this. If I drag that back into position and drop it there. Okay, escape. Oops, select it again. Okay, it updates. Okay, so when I change the size of the field region, because it's set to automatic, the Dynamo script is running every time something changes in the model that's relevant to the script. It'll run again. Okay, so you can leave that running in the background. Again, unless it's actually slowing your processing down, then maybe it's not worth it. Just run it each time at the end. You can also use the Dynamo player, which is in Manage tab over here. That you find the folder and just execute the command whenever you want. We'll create the schedule, so almost forgot that's kind of the point of the video, isn't it? So right click on schedule and quantities in your browser, new schedule and quantities, cancel that. Scroll to detail items. Okay. We want the mark was our room number, wasn't it? The comments was our room name, and detail area is the area. Okay. Kaboom. There it is. Brilliant. So we have our rooms, we have our room numbers, and we have our areas. Fantastic. All right. So if you scroll down there, you're going to see there's some empty values here because there's other detail items obviously placed in this model or this project. And they don't have any of those values, but they're still there. So I want to get rid of them. So we're going to filter them out. I mentioned earlier we could have filtered them out in the Dynamo Script, but it's pretty easy to do it here. Okay. So go into filter. And there's 10 million ways you could do this, but this is the first one that pops to mind. So filter by detail area has a value. Okay, so only detail areas that have a value, only that detail element will be reported here. That's it, done. Okay, so there you have your list of detail areas in a schedule. All right, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it was useful. If you're still here, I guess you found it at least a little bit interesting. Okay. Look at as usual. If you haven't already, subscribe. Appreciate it. If you do, appreciate the comments. This video itself was actually from a comment from a subscriber today. Like, share, do all the stuff. Appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay.